Stop. These coins could be hidden treasure. Do not spend them. Check now. What if the loose change sitting in your pocket right now is actually worth more than a luxury car? Nobody talks about these coins, yet collectors are fighting over them in intense auctions across America. Some carry hidden wealth, some hide a silent fortune, and some can completely change everything. Real auction shock is happening with ordinary-looking wheat pennies and Roosevelt dimes that people spend every day without a second thought. Stay with me, because each coin on this list gets rarer, scarier, and more valuable than the last. Before you spend another penny, check your pocket now, because the coin you ignore today could be the fortune you regret losing forever. First up, the 1957D wheat penny is exactly the kind of coin most people overlook, and that is what makes it so dangerous to ignore. At first glance, it looks ordinary, worn, and completely unremarkable. But hidden beneath that familiar copper surface is a coin that has captured the attention of serious collectors for decades. This is not fiction. Many people have unknowingly spent examples of this penny without ever realizing they were letting a fortune slip through their fingers. If you have a jar of old coins, a forgotten collection, or even a handful of pennies tucked away in a drawer, this is one coin you absolutely need to look for before it's too late. What makes 1957 so important is the moment in American history it represents. The United States was experiencing tremendous growth, industry was booming, and the nation was pushing forward during a period of economic confidence and rapid expansion. The demand for circulating coinage remained enormous, and the Denver Mint worked relentlessly to produce pennies for a growing population. Under this pressure, dies wore down, equipment endured heavy use, and subtle differences emerged that collectors obsess over today. Most people miss this detail, but minting pressure often creates the very conditions that transform ordinary coins into future treasures. Look closely at the front of the coin, and you will see Abraham Lincoln facing right, along with the words, "In God We Trust," above his portrait, "Liberty" to the left, and the date 1957 beside the small D mint mark that identifies production at Denver. Turn the coin over, and the famous wheat ears appear on both sides surrounding the words 1 cent and United States of America with a pluribus unum stretching across the top. Its composition is primarily 95% copper with a small amount of tin and zinc. The coin weighs approximately 3.11 grams, measures 19.05 millimeters in diameter, and carries a thickness of about 1.55 millimeters. These details may sound ordinary, but collectors study every millimeter, searching for clues that separate hidden treasure from common pocket change. The reason surviving examples attract such attention today is simple. Time destroys coins. Decades of circulation wear away details, scratches accumulate, and careless owners often clean them, permanently damaging their value. Never clean this coin. Original toning matters. That natural darkness, antique color, or aged copper glow can mean the difference between an ordinary coin and serious money. Professional grading is critical because even small differences in preservation can dramatically affect desirability. Collectors often focus intensely on the sharpness of Lincoln's features, the strength of the wheat lines, the visibility of lettering, and the originality of the surface. What truly drives demand is emotion. Collectors are not simply buying metal, they are competing for history they can hold in their hands. Auction rooms often become surprisingly aggressive when exceptional examples appear. Many owners refuse to sell, shrinking available supply while interest continues to grow. That combination creates powerful pressure in the marketplace. In today's auction market, A high-quality 1957D wheat penny can reach astonishing values, with rare premium examples being discussed around the $150,000 level. That is hidden wealth hiding in plain sight. That is silent fortune disguised as a 1-cent coin. Do not spend this coin. Check the mint mark first, protect the original surface, and be patient, because patience creates wealth. But what comes next is even bigger. The next coin on our list is rarer, more shocking, and so easy to overlook that thousands of people may still be spending it today without realizing they're throwing away a life-changing opportunity. Imagine dumping a handful of old pennies onto a table and unknowingly pushing away a coin worth a small fortune. That is exactly why the 1956D wheat penny has become such an obsession among collectors. Most people see an old copper cent and move on. Serious collectors see something completely different. They see hidden wealth, a silent fortune, and a piece of American history that is becoming harder to secure every year. This is not fiction. Somewhere right now, someone is spending this coin without realizing that what looks like pocket change could actually represent a life-changing opportunity. Do not spend this coin until you know exactly what you have. The story begins in 1956 Ampere's period, when America was experiencing powerful economic growth and rapid industrial expansion. Factories were busy, highways were growing, suburbs were spreading, and the demand for everyday coinage remained enormous. The Denver Mint was under pressure to produce huge quantities of cents for circulation, eventually striking more than 1 billion Lincoln cents that year. Under relentless production schedules, dies wore down, equipment faced constant stress, and subtle characteristics emerged that collectors still study today. Most people miss this detail, but the circumstances surrounding a coin's production often become part of what makes it fascinating decades later. Link. Now look closely at the coin itself. On the obverse, Abraham Lincoln faces right beneath the words, "In God we trust." To the left appears Liberty, while the date 1956 and the small D mint mark sit to the right. Flip the coin over, and you find the classic wheat ears framing the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America, with E pluribus unum above. Designed by Victor David Brenner, this iconic design was nearing the end of its run because the wheat penny series would soon disappear forever. That fact alone creates powerful collector interest. Antiques know how. What makes this coin feel so special in your hand is its classic bronze composition. The 1956D wheat penny contains 95% copper, with the remainder made from tin and zinc. It weighs approximately 3.11 grams, measures about 19.05 millimeters across, carries a thickness near 1.52 to 1.55 millimeters, and features a plain edge. These measurements sound simple, yet collectors examine every fraction of a millimeter, searching for originality and preservation. The warm copper color, the aged surface, and even the way light reflects from the fields can dramatically affect desirability. USA Coin Book. This detail changes everything. Survival is not the same as preservation. Millions of these pennies circulated through cash registers, vending machines, pockets, and piggy banks. Most became worn, damaged, scratched, or cleaned. That is why original examples command attention. Never clean the coin. Original toning matters. The natural brown, red-brown, or deep copper appearance developed over decades is part of the coin's story. Once cleaned, that history is gone forever. Professional grading is critical because collectors pay premiums for authentic surfaces and accurate condition assessments. Collector demand continues to grow because these coins connect people to a vanished era of American coinage. Some collectors quietly compete for the finest examples, while others refuse to sell once they acquire one. Supply slowly shrinks as strong collections lock away quality pieces for years. Auction activity can become surprisingly intense when exceptional specimens appear. A fine-condition 1956D wheat penny with strong eye appeal, original surfaces, and desirable characteristics can trigger serious interest among dedicated buyers. Every collector knows that opportunities disappear quickly when demand rises faster than supply. If you discover a 1956D wheat penny, check the mint mark first, study the lettering, inspect the wheat stalks, and look carefully for original color and detail. Avoid harsh cleaning, rough storage, or careless handling. Patience creates wealth because the best collectors understand that preserving a coin is often more important than immediately selling it. According to the scenario we're discussing today, auction values can reach an astonishing $160,000, transforming an overlooked cent into hidden treasure. You're holding a fortune disguised as one penny. But stay till the end of this series, because the next coin is even rarer, even more shocking, and so dangerous to ignore that many people may be spending it this very moment without realizing they are losing a silent fortune forever. For factual coin specifications, the 2016D Roosevelt Dime is a copper-nickel-clad coin weighing about 2.27 grams with a diameter of roughly 17.9 millimeters and a thickness near 1.35 millimeters. The design features Franklin D. Roosevelt on the front and a torch with olive and oak branches on the reverse. Sell rare coins. Nobody expects a modern dime to be worth serious money. That is exactly why the 2016D Roosevelt Dime is so dangerous to ignore. While people rush to search old silver coins and forgotten wheat pennies, countless 2016 dimes continue moving through cash registers, vending machines, parking meters, and pocket change every single day. Most people never look twice. Collectors do. And when a coin begins attracting collector attention, while the public remains completely unaware, that is where hidden wealth is born. This is not fiction. Somewhere right now, someone is spending a coin that could represent a silent fortune without even realizing it. Before you spend another dime, check your pocket carefully, because this coin has become one of the most overlooked treasures hiding in plain sight. The year 2016 carried special significance for the Roosevelt Dime series. America was navigating a period of economic uncertainty, political change, and intense public attention as one of the most watched election years in modern history unfolded. During this time, the United States Mint continued producing enormous numbers of circulating coinage to meet demand across the country. The Denver Mint worked around the clock, striking dimes destined for everyday commerce. Under constant production pressure, dies experienced wear, machinery endured heavy use, and subtle differences emerged between coins. Most people miss this detail, but collectors often become obsessed with coins produced during periods of heavy mint activity because preservation becomes increasingly important decades later. At first glance, the 2016D Roosevelt Dime appears ordinary. On the obverse, Franklin Delano Roosevelt faces left beneath the word liberty. The phrase, "In God we trust," appears beside his portrait, while the date 2016 and the D mint mark identify its Denver origin. Near the neck are the initials of designer John R. Sinnock. Turn the coin over, and you will see the famous torch representing liberty standing proudly between an olive branch, symbolizing peace, and an oak branch, symbolizing strength. Around the design are the inscriptions United States of America, E pluribus unum, and one dime. Every word, every line, and every detail matters to collectors searching for exceptional examples. Link. What makes this coin fascinating is how ordinary it feels while hiding extraordinary potential. The coin is composed of copper and nickel clad over a pure copper core. It weighs approximately 2.27 grams, measures about 17.9 millimeters across, carries a thickness near 1.35 millimeters, and features a reeded edge. These specifications may sound simple, but serious collectors examine them constantly. Tiny differences in strike quality, surface preservation, and eye appeal can separate an average coin from one that attracts aggressive bidding. This detail changes everything because collectors are not just buying metal, they are buying condition, originality, and rarity within survival. Link. The real challenge is survival. Most 2016 dimes entered circulation immediately. They were dropped, scratched, scraped against other coins, and forgotten in jars. Very few remain exactly as they left the mint. That is why original condition matters so much. Never clean the coin. Original toning matters. Even slight cleaning can permanently damage collector appeal and destroy value. Some collectors actually prefer natural surfaces showing honest age because they tell a story. A coin with untouched luster, original texture, and attractive appearance can generate far more excitement than a harshly cleaned example that looks unnaturally bright. Collector demand continues to grow because modern treasures create a unique thrill. Anyone can buy an expensive coin at auction, but discovering one in circulation feels completely different. Collectors closely inspect mint marks, strike sharpness, torch details, and surface quality. Some search specifically for strong, full bands detail on the torch, while others pursue beautifully preserved circulation strikes. Auction competition can become surprisingly intense when premium examples appear because many collectors prefer holding these coins rather than selling them. As demand rises and the finest examples disappear into long-term collections, available supply becomes increasingly limited. That combination creates powerful market pressure. If you find a 2016 Roosevelt Dime, do not spend this coin until you inspect it carefully. Check the mint mark. Examine the surface. Look for original luster and strong design details. Store it safely and consider professional grading because professional grading is critical when determining collector value. Patience creates wealth. According to the scenario we're discussing today, auction values can reach an astonishing $120. That is serious money hidden inside a coin most people would never notice. You're holding a fortune disguised as 10 cents. But stay with me, because the next coin is even rarer, even more shocking, and so easy to overlook that losing it could become the biggest coin-collecting mistake of your life. What if the most expensive coin in your pocket right now is the one you would never bother checking? That possibility is exactly why the 2015 Roosevelt Dime has become such a fascinating coin for collectors. Most people see 10 cents. Collectors see opportunity. They see hidden wealth sitting unnoticed in circulation, moving from hand to hand every day. Thousands of these dimes are spent without a second thought, and that is what makes this story so shocking. This is not fiction. The coin hiding among your everyday change could be worth far more than anyone around you realizes. Before you spend another dime, take a closer look, because this ordinary-looking coin may be a silent fortune disguised as pocket change. The story of the 2015 Roosevelt Dime begins during a period when America was experiencing economic adjustment, technological growth, and constant demand for circulating currency. Businesses relied heavily on cash transactions. Millions of coins moved through the economy daily, and the United States Mint continued producing huge quantities of coinage to satisfy demand. The Denver Mint struck enormous numbers of dimes during the year, but mass production does not automatically create lasting quality. Minting equipment operated continuously, dies endured tremendous pressure, and subtle differences in strike quality emerged. Most people miss this detail, but collectors often focus on how production conditions affect the long-term desirability of surviving coins. The design itself carries a powerful connection to American history. On the obverse appears President Franklin Delano Roosevelt facing left. Above him is the word liberty, while "In God We Trust" appears beside the portrait. The date 2015 and the D mint mark identify the coin's year and Denver origin. Near Roosevelt's neck are the initials of designer John R. Sinnock. Turn the coin over, and you'll find the familiar torch representing liberty positioned between an olive branch symbolizing peace and an oak branch symbolizing strength. Around the design appear the inscriptions United States of America, E pluribus unum, and 1 dime. Collectors often spend hours examining these details because tiny differences can dramatically affect desirability. Although it looks simple, the physical specifications matter greatly. The 2015 D Roosevelt Dime is composed of outer layers of copper nickel bonded to a pure copper core. It weighs approximately 2.27 grams, measures about 17.9 millimeters in diameter, has a thickness of roughly 1.35 millimeters, and features a sharply reeded edge. These measurements create the familiar feel Americans recognize instantly. Yet what feels ordinary to most people becomes extraordinary when exceptional preservation enters the equation. This detail changes everything because condition is often the dividing line between common change and serious money. Survival is where the real rarity begins. Most 2015 D dimes entered circulation immediately after leaving the mint. They bounced through vending machines, cash drawers, laundromats, and countless pockets. Scratches accumulated, luster faded, details softened. Very few survived years of circulation while maintaining strong eye appeal. That is why collectors become obsessed with original surfaces. Never clean the coin. Original toning matters. Natural color, untouched texture, and authentic wear are often more desirable than an unnaturally bright surface created through cleaning. Once a coin is cleaned, part of its history disappears forever, and its collector appeal can be permanently damaged. Demand continues to rise because collectors understand something most people do not. Every year, more quality examples disappear into private collections. Some owners refuse to sell at any price. Others hold their coins for decades, waiting for values to climb even higher. As supply tightens, competition intensifies. Auction rooms can become surprisingly aggressive when premium examples appear because collectors know opportunities may not return anytime soon. They inspect the mint mark, strike sharpness, torch bands, lettering clarity, and surface quality with incredible attention. What appears insignificant to the average person becomes a source of intense excitement among dedicated collectors. If you discover a 2015 D Roosevelt Dime, do not spend this coin until you inspect it carefully. Check the mint mark first. Study the condition. Protect the original surface. Store it safely and avoid unnecessary handling. Professional grading is critical because accurate authentication and condition assessment can dramatically influence collector interest. Patience creates wealth, and experienced collectors know that rushing often leads to missed opportunities. According to the scenario we're discussing today, auction values can reach an astonishing $130. Zeroth, that's not just pocket change. That's hidden treasure. That's silent fortune. That's serious money hiding in plain sight. You could be holding a fortune without realizing it. And there you have it, the 4 incredible coins that could be hiding in ordinary change right now. Before you leave, check every penny. Every dime, every forgotten coin jar in your home, because these discoveries happen when people least expect them. If you enjoyed this treasure hunt, subscribe to Coin Goldmine USA. Hit the notification bell and tell us in the comments which coin surprised you the most. Remember, the next coin we uncover could be even rarer, even more valuable, and still circulating unnoticed today. The fortune you're searching for might already be sitting in your pocket, waiting to be discovered.